Bitch, I tried to show 'em. What's up, my dudes? So, to all of my MX Sim broskies out there, just reminding you, go add me up on Steam, Spencer Turley, no space, no capital. I've been inviting a lot of people to play MX Simulator. We're going to get the training going pretty crazy on there every night for 2019 Supercross, so definitely go add me up on there. Just, that's my Steam name. I'll add you in, get you in the Discord. So, yeah, either way, we have no leaning on MX Simulator Challenge. Somebody recommended that I make this video down in one of the comments on one of my other videos, and I looked at that and I was like, hell to the fucking yeah, let's do it pronto ASAP, dog. So that's where we're at here. So yeah, no leaning at all, just turning. So we'll see if this is even possible. I don't think I've ever actually really done this before. So yeah, let's see here. Okay, I'm just gotta be aware of it and not accidentally lean without wanting to do it. Okay, so yeah, it's an interesting challenge, and I can't believe I didn't think of it on my own. But no leaning at all. So can I? If I can't lean, can I get on my back brake in the air? Is that fair? Like, can I do that? Because if I can do that, we're still gonna be okay because I can still control the bike pretty well. You know what I mean? I can get that front end to irk down a little bit on there. Dude, I'm ready to get back into live streaming on this and also other games and stuff too. Got a lot of custom tracks on the way, man. Really close to being coming out. Gonna have a lot more time to kind of put into that here really soon because the summer job is coming to an end. So you'll be seeing a lot of, you'll be seeing 110% Spencer Turley in the next couple months for sure, man. So oh, this is definitely tricky when you come into corners pretty hot and stuff like that. Oh, that's really hard to get on the brakes right there for that. Okay, yeah, triple, okay. Jump this. Wow, I did not realize that I could actually get all the way around a track without leaning at all. Like, literally none. There's no leaning going on here whatsoever. That is quite hilarious, I would say, that you can even attempt to do that. But that'd be so cool if one day MX Simulator got to the point where you had like some sort of like challenge servers or something. You know what I mean? Like all the different challenge videos that I've done where I basically, you know, the first gear only, 0 stability, 100 stability, this, that, and another, all the different challenges. It'd be so cool if you could like have a server to the point where you have it so customized where anybody that joins the server has to obey that certain challenge or that rule or whatever. Like, you literally just mechanically cannot lean once you join a certain server or whatever. If it's like a, you know, a no leaning server challenge, could you imagine how cool the races and the videos and stuff people could make on that? That'd be so cool. And then have a server where it's like you can only get on there with you know, like first gear only, and you can't shift the bike at all, or it's like automatic shifting forced on, or whatever, you know, or 100 stability forced on. That would be fucking hilarious. Seeing all the pros with 100 stability, that would be definitely quite the comedic moment there for sure. But yeah, not too bad. I mean, as far as the whoops, like, I'm actually really surprised that, you know, I'm surprised I'm able to hit these triple ends. Oh, yeah, that's a big line. I accidentally leaned a little there. My bad. It's my mind sitting there going like, okay, Spencer, lean a little bit. Don't crash. That's crazy. I just never would have thought that you could be this fast in this game without leaning. It's just unreal. And I'm not even warmed up at all, man. This is my first time playing this today at all. So I'm just so shocked that you can hit like certain lines and stuff like that without even leaning. It's all strictly turning. You know what I'm saying? Like there's no, I'm turning the bike, but there's no leaning going on anywhere. So, yeah, it's pretty funny, man. I mean, it's one of those challenges that's working out a lot better than I thought. So the thing about whoops, a lot of people don't realize is a lot of times the more you lean, the worse you do in the whoops because you end up overcorrecting and then you end up crashing. So really, you don't need leaning for whoops all that much in MX Simulator at all. Like, you'll realize that, especially as a beginner. Like, if you'll go in there and go in the whoops and basically just don't move on the bike at all as far as like leaning or anything like that, and don't turn too sharp and just let the bike kind of handle itself through the whoops, you'll probably glide right through them, man. I mean, it's crazy how it does that. But now when you get to an extreme skill level and you're on a lot bigger of whoops, it's a little bit of a different story because you have to kind of control it when it's monster-style whoops. See, this is a 2013 track right here, so obviously a little bit outdated. You can see me not really get my corners very good right there, front end washing there a little bit, but like with the 2013 track, it's going to be a lot easier to hit certain stuff, because you don't have to be as hardcore on the throttle with these newer bike dynos on these older tracks like this, and the whoops aren't as big and all that kind of stuff. So I'm sure that's obviously helping quite a bit in my case here, but either way, yeah, don't think that you have to lean in the whoops or you have to lean to hit a jump or whatever. It's not necessarily the case, man. Even from day one, I felt like all leaning does is kind of changes your trajectory. It doesn't really change like so much of how far you're jumping. What changes that is your momentum and how much speed you get out of the corner. A lot of people get that kind of confused because they play too many of those motocross games where it's like super, you have to actually hit the seat bounce button over every jump or you're just not going to be able to jump it, where MX Simulator is not like that at all. MX Simulator, the way you hit jumps is about hitting corners wide. Ooh, it's hard to control it when it starts to endo like that. It's all about hitting corners wide and getting the momentum through the corner and not sliding out of the corner. That's what allows you to hit bigger jumps on MX Simulator. It's not so much your leaning or your your seat bounce in MX Simulator, your actual sit-down button. That does almost nothing in this game. I mean, it's super minute, the thing that does, and I've actually made a guide on that as well if you want to go check that out. I got a guide playlist on my front page. But yeah, man, either way, this is playing MX Simulator with absolutely no leaning whatsoever. Works out really good on a track like this. I know there's obviously certain like newer 2014, 15, 16, 17, 18 Supercross tracks that you're going to have to lean to hit like certain quad jumps, really, really massive stuff, because if you don't have at least a little bit of a lean, you'll just endo over the jump face because it's too extreme of a peak. You know what I'm saying? So it's a lot of times it's really just about leveling the bike out in the air more so than it is actually hooking up bigger, and that's something you can kind of realize once you ride on some of those newer tracks. Ooh, that's one of them jumps you got to get on the brakes hardcore, man. Yeah, I remember playing on this track quite a bit back in the 03 servers. All of those 2011, 12, and 13 tracks, oh my God, man. That is like 03. That'll be 03 forever, dude. Like, those are the 03 track servers, or 03 server tracks. I said it backwards. Come on, Smits. Oh my God. Like, that'll forever be what I remember when I think of as 03, as those 3 years of tracks right there. They're just legendary, man. I guess they technically are called like the JLV tracks of the game or whatever, but so cool for the time. That would have been so cool if I would have been able to get into MX Simulator back in those days. I can't believe I didn't, because I was playing Reflex, but I just wasn't really into the PC gaming yet, so I didn't really understand even what was going on with MX Simulator. But I'm sure these tracks were like bomb, like legit top notch back in these days. You know what I mean? Like, for the speed of the bikes and the physics of the bikes and all that back then, I'm sure it was awesome, dude. I started playing in 14, and that was like kind of the middle to the end of 14 there. So basically, I was playing with I think it was like the RMZ 2011 dyno or whatever in the game when I first got into it, 450. And they had obviously the 14 tracks out there already, which were in advance, quite the advancement over. That's one of the biggest changes they've ever done on any track, years of Supercross tracks, is from 13 to 14. That's like night and day difference. There's no other years that change as much as from 13 to 14. I mean, it's insane. Like, even the graphical look of it and everything, totally different. But also 12 was quite a bit less of like skill gap than 13. 13 kind of opened up kind of made the jumps a little bigger, scaling a little bit bigger, stuff like that. So, but I mean, even at 14, starting the game at 14, you know, it was really cool learning the game on these tracks because they were a little bit easier than the 14 ones. You could kind of get going really, really fast, kind of learn the game. That's like how some of the demo Supercross tracks are in the game. So it was cool, basically, like kind of doing a time warp back in time and learning all of those tracks from 2010, 11, 12, and 13 that all those people had been racing on MXM before I'd gotten into it. You know, it was cool to go back and learn all those tracks as if I had pro raced on them or something, gotten to that pro level point on those tracks. It's definitely a cool... It's the perfect tracks to learn the game on. I mean, absolutely perfect. Like, for a beginner Supercross rider, still to this day, it's perfect. I know the bikes are a little quicker now, so stuff's going to be a little bit easier, but, I mean, it'd be kind of tough hopping on some of those, even the 14 tracks, and just, like, as a full-blown beginner and riding on those. Like, it'd be pretty tough. I mean, I'd recommend starting on bare minimum the 13s, but you'd probably be better off starting on like the 12s, even though they are slicker. You know, that was one thing about the 11s and 12s, super slick, like you're on ice. 13's got a little bit better traction than 14. It was like actually legit traction. Yeah, I think the traction from like 14 to like 15 or 13 to 15 was kind of the best tractions I've ever seen in the game, personally. That's just me, though. So, either way, man, there's you another challenge video for MXM. It'd be cool to do this on, like, a motocross track or some other kind of tracks out there. But if you have any other challenge ideas that I haven't done yet, I'll definitely check that out and try to do that. There's just so many. I mean, you know, I could sit here and think of challenges for a week straight and still not have thought of all of them. Like, there's so many little setup things you can adjust and little things you can do to make it, like, a interesting... trying to play the game like this with this certain thing or whatever. I mean, there is so much different stuff you could do. Like, I mean, it's insane. Then you go to the different bikes and then the different tracks that you tried on and the different controllers you tried on, all that kind of stuff. Playing with one eye only, you know, physically things, you know, playing with one hand only. I've done both of those. So there's a lot that you can do more so than just changing setup stuff in the game on the bike. But either way, man, appreciate you guys watching all the videos. Go add me up on Steam. Don't forget, friends list is getting up there. I think I got like 260 and I've got like 300 and something max friends list right now. So I will be really getting deep into the MX Simulator Supercross training in the next couple months. So I'll be inviting all you random guys from Steam into that. But my name is just Spencer Turley, no space, no capital, just like my YouTube name, but without the capital S and T and the space between it. So definitely go add me up on there. I'll add you back. And yeah, we'll have a good old time racing on some Supercross tracks. May have like an old school night or something and go back and race on some of the 2011, 12s, and 13 tracks, or have a night where we go back and only race on the 14 Supercross tracks. But my goal is to get it to where I've got full gates on there, you know, where I've actually got enough people to invite at any random given time where I can get a full gate of 22 people on there and have a lot of fun racing with you guys, kind of like how it was back in the 03 server days, but getting it to where we can be on any year of track that we want for that particular time. So yeah, man, either way, I'm out, boys. Later, dudes.